Okay, guys, we are now live. Okay, Hanifa, confirm if you can see the screen now. Hello? Are you there? Okay, so guys, for the sake of progress, let's do a recap of what we did yesterday. So right. So we said Power BI is one of the business intelligence tools that we use to do data analysis, among other tools that we have. For example, we have Tableau, which is an alternative to this, but I think this is the most common, especially for Microsoft enterprise organization that are using Microsoft. And the good thing is it has connectors over 160, which means it can connect to different data sources, right? So yesterday we then covered our first lecture, where we said the flow starts with data preparation. We go to data modeling, then we go to what? Sorry? Visualization. What else? Analyze. Then what? Management. So those are the steps. So yesterday we did some bit of data preparation and the overview of the Power BI application, where we said the Power BI application is the three components. Which are they? Yeah. Or the applications of Power BI. Yes. Web service. Yes. The mobile app. So we said the flow comes from the data source. We go to what? To desktop, where we do our reporting. Then after we are done with preparing the reports in Power BI desktop, we then publish what? To the Power BI service, where we can create what? Apps and dashboards for easier what? Sharing. And we said an application is a combination of reports and what? And dashboards, right? So you see that what we are doing, we are somehow answering some of the questions that are asked in PO 300. And the pass mark is 700 out of 1000, or 70%. So you just need to get 70% right for you to pass. Okay. I think we discussed this of the various data sources. So we also discussed about the various what data storage modes that we have. We said how many do we have? You can pick one and give us the explanation, Chief.
The import we said it creates like a copy of your maybe of the file that you may
Yeah, so yeah, it's correct. So the import mode is somehow creates a copy or a cache in your Power BI application. What about the direct query?
We don't like necessarily prefer that.
Yeah, so the direct query is we are accessing the data direct from the data source. We are not creating any copy, which means every update that's happening, we have direct access and the real-time access. So mostly when you want to create real-time reports, but we also said we have dual and direct lake, which we say direct lake is mostly used in fabrics, which we are not much covering in this course. And we have the dual, the combination of the two, which we said, for example, in your data, in your organization, you may have some data in Microsoft Access database, some in Microsoft SQL Server, some in Excel files, some in CSV files. So you can use a combination of both to create a dual. So we also said the mode that you choose, it affects the performance. For example, there's network latency. It can also affect, especially on direct query, and the performance of your underlying database. It also affects what the direct query. So you have to be very careful with the mode that you choose. Okay. I think we discussed this. The benefits and limitations. We said frequently changing data for direct query, near real time, large volumes, multi-dimensional. The limitations, it depends on the data source performance, security between source and destination, which means before you use this, you need to get in touch with your database administrators. They may have disabled some of the functionalities that can make you use direct query. And limited modeling capabilities, which means they are not all modeling capabilities that you can do on direct query. Yeah, but with the import mode, I think it supports all the functionalities of data transformation and modeling. Then so on data profiling, so you see that I will have to explain data profiling. So if you go to your machines on the view tab, I think you can do that. uh, can you please open the report that we did yesterday that I said you should save? Just go to file. Mm, on your recent, I think you should have that one. First lesson. You said first lesson. So you go to file. I think on the list of the reports you should have it, right? So let's go to the home tab. There's transform data option, or you don't have it yet.
Yeah.
Okay, you can take this time to do the import.
Right.
Yeah, the transform data, that one. Are you there? You clicked that, and it should it should direct you to the Power Query edit. All right, fine. I think we have to redo the data import. So we have what we call data profiling. So data profiling is like EDA, right? Where we are trying to understand the structure and nature of our data. That's what are the ranges. So in most cases, we'll be examining and understanding the underlying data structure, such as row counts, the summary statistics, maximum, minimum, average, all those minimums that we're doing, right? Um, so before you do anything, you need to understand how your data is like. So we will do data profiling. So data profiling, we also use it to find anomalies in the data statistics. So we have column distribution. So column distribution, it shows the distribution of data within the column. What is the max? What is the mean? What is the count? And what is the range? Then column profile, it includes the basic statistics. Then the value distribution tells us the count of each unique, and also the column statistics. I think let's not spend much of the time there. We have to demonstrate it practically. We have also cardinality. Uh, I think we did cardinality, is it? What did we say? Yeah, it's like the uniqueness, to say how unique is it. We said on the relationships, it's one to many and many to one and many to many. So it describes the uniqueness of values in a column. So it helps us to define the relationship context. So on cardinality, I think we have terms that we use there. We have the distinct count, which is the total number of distinct values found, which means it ignores the repeated values. If a value is appearing more than once, it counts only once. Then unique values count the total number of values that appear only once. So usually, if you go to your keys, they will be the unique count will be equal to the total number of records, because each key is what is unique, right? So we have some principles that you should follow. Uh, when we are doing our data cleaning, we must usually remove columns that have a high cardinality, and keep columns that have low cardinality, for us to optimize performance. Because what Power BI does, it summarizes mostly numerical values. So numerical values will have a low cardinality. So it's able to aggregate. So in most cases, columns with high cardinality, we must try and always remove them. And it's one of the performance tuning techniques that we should follow. So we also discussed about the data import errors, where we said we have a query timeout. So on query timeout, we are saying your query is using more hardware resources, right? Then we have also timeout expired, which means you are pulling more data than what your system can support. Then couldn't find data, maybe formatted as a table, maybe you don't have a table. Then data type errors, maybe you are using a string where they should be what? A number or a date or something. So we had these questions. When connecting to a SQL server to get data, what language did we use? We said we use T-SQL there. How many rows are assembled in Power Query Editor? By default, we said 1000. So for you then to get an overall or a total scan to your data, you need to then change. What can you do to improve performance when you are getting data into Power BI? We said remove unnecessary columns. These questions, you may be surprised to find them as they are. Okay. Data transformation. So for data transformation, we said there are some steps. Uh, there are some steps that we should follow, and on Power BI, we have the on top, we have the ribbon, then the left we have the query pen, then we have the settings on the right. Where on the settings pane there are the steps which you have followed, and which we said when you are inserting the new steps, always try to edit as a new, so that when you make errors you can then remove. So if you combine them, the moment you remove, you are removing all the bundles of the steps which you would have done. So always bear that in mind. Yes, it. Okay, that's fine. So we also said the first step when you import your data is to identify the column headers, right? So for the column headers, use business sense column names. You may have your technical jargons, but always try to avoid that. Make the column names that other business people can understand. And we also said you can use correct data types, because if you use the wrong data type, it may also affect maybe the calculations that you do later. On numerical columns, you format it as a text. There are some calculations that you refuse. You have a date column, you format it as a text. It won't create data hierarchies and it will not be identified as a date. Okay, so we said choose the user-friendly values, and some of the transformations that you can do: replace now values, remove duplicates, and you follow the best practices. When you have underscores, when your table names are combined, you should do renaming. And we have said it's not always the case where your column names are in the first row. They may be in the second row. So you need to promote your first row as head. And you may need to remove some maybe top rows. You may receive data which would come maybe as a reported something, and you need to do some data cleaning. All right, we said you should change data types. You go to the asterisks there and you do, then the data changes. Then we have the pivot and unpivot, which we were doing as a transpose in Excel, and we were doing pivot and unpivot in SQL. But in Excel, we're doing transpose. We can also do that in Power BI. So on query forwarding, so there's a concept which is called query forwarding. So query forwarding, it pushes data transformation to the source for better performance, right? So it happens mostly where in SQL we're doing the uh, select statement, where we're doing group by, sort by, union or joins, etc. So if we are now here, for us to improve performance, we can do query forwarding. I think I'll demonstrate that using the native query option, where you can push your data transformation to the source. You are not affecting the data per se, but you are making the transformation to come ready to your Power BI, right? So that you reduce the calculations that are done in Power BI. So performance recommendations only keep the necessary data, the necessary columns. Check data types, use the correct data types, reduce cardinality, right? Reduce, disable query load. If you have queries that you think are, especially dimension tables, for example, you have your product table or your regions table, those tables don't change most often. Disable them on the automatic refreshes so that you don't affect the performance of your report. Always use parameters. Uh, so this one is saying what is the risk of having now values in a numeric column? If you average, the data will be what? Will be incorrect. Because what does average do? It's saying the total number of rows. So it will be incorrect. Yeah. If you have two queries that have different data but the same column headers, and you would want to combine both tables into one query with all the combined rows, which operation should you perform? Yeah. You what? You append. Yes. So appending, we are just saying we are combining on one on top of the other. Then when similar to union or in what? But it doesn't remove duplicates. You have to you have to remove them manually. And merging is for what? For merging based on a key. Maybe you want to fetch some values there based on the relationships and foreign keys. So connecting to various data, determining the right storage, profiling data for accuracy and insights, cleaning, transformation, loading, using query forwarding for appropriate sources, recommendations for performance reports. So I think we can do a bit of practical so that we get our hands dirty. right? So, Shamin, I hope you downloaded the resources that I shared yesterday. We are using the AdventureWorks DB, which is on an Excel. So the way we do it, we said this is our Excel dashboard, right? So we have this ribbon, and we said this one is the report view, this one is the table view, this is the model where we create our semantic models. Um, here is the DAX query, and this one. So here we write our scripts. Maybe you may need to upload maybe some, right? So here we have the insert, the modeling, the view, the optimize. So on optimizers, I think of importance here is the performance analyze. Having done your queries, you can do analysis to say how much time is it taking to load, so that you see the problematic queries. Yes. So you can then refresh, you can pause the visuals, etc. Then on the view, there is also the mobile layout, or you can click here to turn your reporting to see how does it appear on the mobile app after you have created your visuals. But to keep it to this, then since I've said this, Power BI is part of Power Platforms, right? You can integrate with Power Apps and Power Automate. Then there are decomposition trees and key influencers, which we'll do later after we have created some visuals, right? So on the home, to get our data, we say get data, right? We need from Excel workbook. So we need from AdventureWorks. From AdventureWorks, I think you can come. So we need the AdventureWorks DB. So we'll select the tables. Um, we select the tables that we want. We said we need the budget, customer data, date ranges, location, product, sales people, 2020 sales, budget 2. Is there something else? We have customers, date ranges, location.
What do you say?
Okay, so you can sit. So after we do this, we have two options, right? Either to transform or load our ETL pipeline. We extract, transform, and load. That's ETL. We extract, load.
Knowing from what we said yesterday
I'm doing a recap. Yeah. So if you did this, I think you can just. Are you with us, or you are behind? You haven't downloaded. Okay. So right. So we say transform data. So it's saying processing what? Processing queries, determining automatic transformations. So the automatic transformation that it does is what? It's detecting automatic relationships. It's doing automatic data types, right? So that's what it's doing there. So these small tables, they are completed, which means these ones may be containing what? A lot of data. Right? So now we are here. So what we can do now is we are now in our Power Query edit. Yeah, it's the Power Query edit. So we can now do previews. We can now do a lot. We can now do column profiling, right? So let's go to the first table. We said these are the columns that are there. I think for the basic type of naming column names, I think this is fine, right? It's better. But yeah, the problem is we have the problem with what? With the data type. So we need to change it to what? To a fixed decimal number, since it's what? Since it's of type currents. So it's prompting me. I need to add what? The new step, so that suppose I made a mistake, I can then what? I can then remove. All right. Okay. Maybe before we do that, let's check the names of our tables. Are these names okay? We said no, right? We said there are a lot of ways to do it. You can right click and say rename, or you can double click, right? Or once you click here, the name will be here. So you can what? You can just say customers. Uh, Customers already exist. So it means, let's see the data. Uh, so I need to delete this one. To delete, I no longer need it. I already have what? I already have customers here. The name is okay.
Delete them?
I deleted customers.
But yesterday you paid the sales and it. So we need to delete you and 2020 something. 2020.
I'm redoing what we did yesterday.
Yeah, and we just now was delete 2020, 2021.
We shouldn't delete. We should hide them. If you delete, your model will be broken.
Oh,
Yes. If you just hide them, we said one of the best practice is to disable them from being loaded.
okay.
Because yeah, yeah.
So how do you with the right click?
So location, products. Let's do renaming. I think we need to do this real quick.
There's one of us. How could you Brazil?
Sorry. Mm, no, we haven't. We started by appending. So it's like I have repeated tables here. let's remove these columns. Let's remove these tables. So 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 confirm these are the tables that you have: budget, location, 2021 sales people, date ranges, products. All right. So we have fixed. You go to new source. Okay. So let's now go back and see the table location.
Table location.
I think it seems fine there. We go to sales. For these ones, let's leave them.
Which one and which one?
The sales tables. Customers, I think they are fine.
What about date ranges?
Let's leave it like that. Location. I have two location tables.
So necessary transformation.
Cost is what? Cost is money, right?
Which table?
On products. Original price is money as well. Current price is money.
Taxes, money.
Yeah. Do you still have anything there? We are fine. Sales people. Budget. Revenue there is what is fixed decimal. So once you do this, you are fine. But you see that maybe suppose you forgot to insert a certain table. You just come here and click new source, then you choose the type, then you go to the file and select. You can also enter data manually here. Create a new table and enter data manually. Maybe you want to create maybe table with 10 columns. Maybe it's a dimension table of maybe targets. You can create manually and save it. You can do refreshes. You can create parameters. You can do management on advanced editor. Let's see what's there. So on advanced editor, this one is showing us what the source to the data source. So
Management.
yeah, maybe suppose right. So suppose you come to the sales table. This one is also fixed decimal. Yes, that's it. So for now, we want what? We want to merge. We want to append, sorry. See, append queries. Append what is new. Right, something like this. We click what? Okay. So we now have a what? A new table with the name what? Appended. You can go sales data 2020 to what? 2021. Right? So what do we do with these ones? We untick. So the moment you untick, they become italized. They become italized. Right? It is. It's just the right. For my table here, for customers, you see it's saying column 1, column 2. So I need to say use first row as header. Use headers as first row. Use first row as headers. Right? I promoted the headers and it changed because in my first line it was an empty what row. Let's check as well if we have another table like that. This one, for me it's like that. You may not have use first row as headers, so they are now promoted. Use first row as headers. Right? Suppose you have values that you don't want. Yours are fine. Right? So there are a lot of transformations that we can do, ladies and gentlemen. We have appended queries. You can do merging. So when you are doing merging queries, so I want to merge this. Maybe suppose I believe that I want to do merging. So the merging that we're doing, the joins that we're doing in SQL, it's the same here. Either left join, full join, right join, etc. Is the what we do. You can also replace values. Maybe in your date you don't need the slash, you need what? The dot, or you can do replace values, value to find and value to replace with. What we do in Excel, right? Uh, we can also do summarizing, group by, right? What we are doing in SQL. So you see we are doing the same thing, but it's just a different tool. We can split columns. I think we demonstrated this. Let's go to salespeople, for example. Suppose you want to split this into, is she up to split? Okay. Suppose you want to split the column salespeople. I will reverse this. By delimiter, we need what? Leftmost of what? And our leftmost of, do we need the comma? We need what? A space. Leftmost appearance. If we do this, what's wrong? Split column. Yes. So we now have what? Separated, right?
What if the three, if let's say panel first name is middle name and last name?
So the second name will be part of the surname because we have said we need the leftmost. So if you would then need to use DAX. We did that in Excel and in SQL. The option of splitting right away, it was refusing. In Excel, we then used what? Choose columns and text split for it to be dynamic. Right. So you then need to rename your columns. They will just inherit the column name, but it will be given numbers. You can also remove columns. Suppose I don't want this column, I'll just come here and say remove remove columns. Or when I'm selecting this, if I say remove others, all these other will be removed that I'm not selecting. Or if I say remove column, I'm removing what? The one which I'm selecting. You can also say choose columns. You can say go to columns. You can say keep rows. Suppose your data maybe is messed, the few first rows, they've some fancy things. You can say keep rows or remove rows. Right? So let's go to column profiling. So on transformations, sorry, before we go there, on transformations, I think we did this. Use the first row as headers. You can reverse the rows, you can count, you can transpose. Right? Transpose is there in Excel, right? We did that. We can detect data type as well. We can replace values, we can fill, we can pivot column, we can unpivot, you can move to the right, to the end. We can format, we can pass. On formatting, are we formatting to uppercase, capitalize each word, trim, clean, add prefix, add suffix, right? These are straightforward. Lowercase, I think we did this, right? Capitalize each word when we said it's proper. Is it? We trim, which means we are removing what? Trailing and leading what? Spaces. Extract first characters, last characters, range, text before delimit, right? So you'll be just saying text before which delimit. Uh, then of importance here is the column profiling. Column profiling, we said we need to understand how our data is arranged. So on column profiling, we go to the view, the view tab. Go to the view and maybe select table salespeople. Yeah. So go to view.
Table view.
Right. So on table view, you see that I've unticked all this. So of importance here is column distribution, column profile, and column quality. And these questions they come. If you don't find one of these questions, it's very rare. We are still on our query span. On our, we go to salespeople and tick column distribution. Right. So it's like some graphs will come there. 45 distinct and 45 unique. We were explaining what cardinality. So in this column there is high cardinality. Is it? Because 45 distinct and 45 unique, which means everything is unique. I have column distribution. Are you now there? What did we say about column distribution? And sorry, cardinality. We must always strive for what? For lower cardinality column. For example, if we go into the sales data, we have 1000 what distinct and 1000 unique, because this is a key. In most cases, for keys, the distinct count is equals to the unique count because it's a key. But here we have 101 distinct but zero unique. Why? They are not unique because they are repeating the product ID. Why they are not unique? It's because a product can be sold many times. So the product ID will appear what? several times. So the unique count will be 0, right? Same applies to what? To the price, right?
Also the location.
Yes. So let's untick the column distribution and click column profile. So column profile is a very important. Let's click the price, the sales data table read,
Sales data.
and click the price, right? So to check the of importance is to check the error. So in case your data has errors, the errors will be shown there. And you have the minimum price, the maximum price, the average, standard deviation. So column profile, it shows us what? The summary statistics and the errors, if there are any values on top of what? Of the column distribution statistics. So the question will come in your exam to say maybe you want to see the statistics, the max and mean. Which option do you tick? This one definitely you see it there. Yeah, and they usually bring this picture. This picture and ask you a question about it. Say what does this mean? Is this part? So it's column.
That's a column profile.
Yeah. So column distribution, it shows what? Unique and what?
But it only does this to only numeric columns, right?
It does to every column, but mainly applies to. So some of the statistics here, they are not even necessary for a key. Why do we need a minimum and max for a key, an alphanumeric value? No use at all.
So it makes sense to be numeric columns.
Yeah, but for column profiling, you need to do for each column, because if there are errors, you are able to detect, because it's saying error there are 0. We have 0 errors in our data.
So you have to click manually each column.
Yeah, in case there are errors in that column, they will be shown. If there is an empty string, it will be shown, right? So that's column profile. You need to know this. Let's untick and go to column quality.
Data pen daga 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So column quality, it's showing your valid, empty, and errors. We have 100%. Let's scroll on top of every what? Of every row. We have 100% valid, 0 errors, 0 empty. So our data is perfect.
Mine is showing. Yours showing what? Mine is showing 96%
On what?
on sales. Sales data.
Sales data for which column? For everything.
I think for
Here it's 100%. What about yours? 100%. 100. No.
the first one, you can sales person ID valid 4%, and then empty 96%.
Yeah. So you need to revisit how you imported that data, because 4% is if it was reverse, it was going to be sensible.
It only did the same on sales person name, the ID.
Yeah, because if you get it wrong on the ID, certainly to get it wrong on what? On all other, because they are dependent on that.
So what could they find?
Sales, you are doing it on sales data.
On sales data, the one that we pending.
I think you need to redo the appending. Is the process that we are demonstrating just before with this? Did you manage to append? Okay. So on column quality, so it So I think the good thing is this guy managed to get it wrong, so we are able to learn. So the moment you see that you have errors and empty, you need to stop and interrogate your data. And if possible, remove empty columns, remove empty rows, remove errors, or try to fix the data source because you are getting valid 4%, right?
Valid 4%.
And
Error 0%, but empty 96%.
we can't have that. If it was the reverse, maybe we are going to say drop what empty, and we keep the 96%, but 4% and for sure
So I need to
we can't do
delete.
that.
So I can
Delete that one and do
I'm deleting the appended one.
yeah, and redo the merging. So this is it. Then on the tools we can start diagnosis. So on diagnosing, we are diagnosing our queries to see how are they impacting our models, right? So there's a lot that you can do. Right. So I think if we are okay, mm, what is it that is happening with my
I think everything going to show.
yeah, my computer is acting up. I hope we'll get there. It's making sense.
Valid 100%. Errors empty 0.
Is there anything that you can add, Chief? Okay. Hey, I'm getting this. Hey, I haven't saved this thing. Right? Hey, you see the problem that I'm getting here? Yeah, it's click. Back. Click back. Segera back. Oh, yes. Tora na. Oh, that's not safe. Allow safe. Sure. Is your machine ready? Yeah. I have a challenge here. And it seems this will run up to eternity. Sorry guys, I'm terminating my Power BI to restart again. So maybe after this we go to some visuals, right? I have to force close it. Okay. Yo. Right. So guys, uh, let's go to our canvas. So I think for you guys, you can continue. Was for you to wait for me, just follow the instructions. Right? Let's go and check the relationships. We said we have the report view, the table view. Don't do what I'm doing. All right. So for me, yeah, I'll do it real quick. I think generally my computer is slow.
kundikana. But why is it showing on 2021 and mama at that?
Imagine.
And sister happened manigura. Afanu kuda chita sitoza buri au matembo.
No Buddha, but they will not be loaded on a refresh. If you don't want them there, you can say hide. Right click the table and hide. That you have to find out. They are no longer there. You are feeling successful. So for me, I won't rename my tables for the sake of time. I'll just go straight here to the right. So what I'll just do here is I'll do append these two tables. Yeah, it seems my machine is that slow. Okay, here I am. Right. So what did we say then? We said we are okay. right? Okay, so yeah, close and apply. So in case I forget something, I'll still say transform data, then come back. I'll still be able to do that. So it's now applying the changes. I hope this time it will work. Waiting for other queries. Waiting for other queries. Okay, seems this time it has worked. All right, so for now, so I now have my queries here. No, remove the files. Let me be saving. Right, so now I'm here. I'm now have my filters, my visualizations, and data. So on the report view here, I can then start to do what? To do visualizations. On table view, I can view my tables or the columns that they have. So what did we say? Okay. So you see that these columns with the in statistics, what does this sign represent? Summation. Okay. So what it does is we were talking of cardinality and what? And the summation. Uh, the uniqueness and it is so for all numeric columns, it summarizes. And for all date columns, it creates a date and it creates a hierarchy. So that when you are creating your visual, you may start at high level, which is a year. You can then drill down to what? To quarter, drill down to month, and drill down to day. So the hierarchy is one of the beautiful features. That's the. You can also create hierarchies. Maybe when you have, let's say, a region, and you have region and you have country, you have location. It is. You can also create hierarchies so that you can then drill down your data, starting at high level. So one also rule of thumb is when you are dealing with the dates, you have to create a dedicated date table, right? So I think you will be able to see that. So for now, let's go to our model view and see how our model is looking like. So we have what we call a star schema. Uh, so these tables, delete from the model. Yes. Okay, let's hide it. Let's hide. Instead of deleting, let's hide. Where's the other one? This one. Right. So I think that's why our model is a bit complicated. But you can see what that our model somehow has what? Yes, a form of a star schema. And this one should be in the middle, but we have a lot of items here. Let's remove this. We'll deal with this later. And also this. We'll deal with this later. Let's this here. I uh yeah. So I wanted the option of deleting, but it's saying since this table is referencing this, we cannot what? We cannot delete it from what? From the model. So I don't know why it's now keeping appearing in the model. I'll have to check. But I've hidden. Yes. Yes, I did that, but unfortunately, it was not working as expected because when you actually uh, let me show you, enable a lot, close and apply. Let's see. Yeah, they are now removed from what? From the model. So I think I'd skipped that stage. Thanks, Anif. Right? So we now have what? This table. So this is our model. So you untick the enable load. Okay, so go to transform data and launch Power Query. Then you untick enable load. Do you have them? You have done that? I think redo because they shouldn't appear in the model.
Okay. You got it. Click it. You got it.
Are we now there?
That's good.
Disable load. Okay. Are we now there? So you see that our model is now a star schema. So a star schema is like as the name implies, the tables are connected from each other from the effect table. So the effect table will be connected what to the dimension tables. So we say the effect table, we see it mainly with the many what foreign keys. We are disabling,
Yeah, and cheeky.
right? We now have what our model, right? This is our model. So it's like a star schema. All these tables are coming, and this one it means it's a child table to this. So for us to access this, we access it via this one, right? So since we are happy for now, let's forget this one. Let's go to our report view. Right. So it's also, since like what I've said, it's also the best practice to, we'll cover modeling later because I think there's a dedicated topic for modeling. But for now, I think you now have an appreciation of what a model is. Right. So what I usually like, uh, when dealing with dates, I usually like to create a date table, right? So to create a new table, I'll say new table here, calculations are that. So I'll call my table what calendar. I'll say what calendar. You can say calendar auto. What? I'm on my report view. Then I'm clicking any table. Then there are these table tools. I'll say new table. Say I'll say calendar auto. What it does it just creates what tables based on your physical way. So the command that I have included here is, was when I said calendar auto, it's saying fiscal year end month. Maybe I'm assuming my year ends what? 12, which is December, right? But I don't want that. I want it to scan maybe the start date for I want it to be dynamic, to use only the dates that are here. It's a command. Masarepi chibatirani. Tafika. Nifuna wazi.
Referenda a date and choose, but date choose, then you click on new table, new column, think what? Where do you go?
Chi? Right, so you can do this and your table will be created, right? But I don't want you to do this. I want to take the minimum, maybe day of my sales order, and the maximum. You can also do that. Is it?
So maybe what it does on that is when you are saying calendar mode, it automatically scans our data that we have. Then it takes the list that you have taken, the latest that you have. So my dear, can I take you a step back? I'm lost.
You are lost.
Or 2 steps back.
Or let me delete. Delete from model. Okay.
Okay, tata baba, tata find up my table.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. Usually, when you are working with time intelligence data, you want your data to be coordinated so that you can do filtering. So the best practice is to create a dedicated date table, right? Or the best practice, if your organization have that calendar, you can use that. You can import that. But here, I want to demonstrate to you how we can use DAX to create that table, right?
What
So,
the calendar something?
yes. So if you click any query or table here, it will take you to the table tools. So on the table tools here, you can create a new measure, you can create a quick measure, new column. We will demonstrate this, right? Using DAX. A quick measure, you can just drag the columns and drop, uh, especially for you beginners. But you need then to be able to use this one, new measure, where you are writing advanced DAX queries. So for you to create a new table, you click new table. So the moment you do that, it takes you, this is a query pen where you can write your scripts. So it's saying table. By default, it gives you table. But I don't want my table to be called table. I want to call it calendar. I want to call it what? Calendar. So calendar, we have two options. I can say calendar, sorry. I can say calendar auto. So calendar auto, when you do that, it's prompting you what to put inside, a variable to put inside. So if you don't put anything, by default, it puts what? 12. So, but we have other companies that have a year end rinopera kana muna March. Some rinopera muna June. So you have to be explicit here to say maybe I need it to end here per 6. So you see that for other formulas, for example, you want to calculate sales last year. That's it. It will check to see what's our fiscal year end demand. So that's why it is important to be explicit. But let's put 12. So as was said here, that's when he was explaining. So when you use calendar auto, it scans the data that you have and it takes the minimum and what? And the maximum. So if we now go to our model, we now have a table called calendar. Where is it? Okay, I haven't committed. Calendar. I now have this what? This table calendar. So what I will then do is, for each table that have a date, I will reference to this what? To this calendar. So that for filtering, I will use only the calendar. For example, the sales date. Our sales table. I think let's go here. I can go to this, mark this as date table. Mark this as date table. Choose column date, validated successfully. Okay, so this is now marked as what? Is a date.
You're fast and furious.
I'm still on my summarizing. So after I create this table, this option there will be this option which say mark as new table. I'll mark that as new table. Go to my model.
Upon mark as the table, say on.
Yes, on.
Choose the date column.
Choose the date column.
Which is date.
Date. Validated. Then save. Right? Come to your model. We need to link. I think only sales have a date here. Is it? Isn't it so? I think so. So let's create a relationship between calendar and sales table. We want to create to order date, and I think this is now familiar to you. Just put it anywhere where you can access it, right?
Sales they are 2020, 2020.
Yes.
So what are we doing with that one?
We are now creating a relationship between the sales and the calendar table.
What do we do?
What did we say yesterday?
Tunatora customer ID tunaitega mu
They are not related by customer ID. They are related by date.
tudega all the data.
From anyhow, order date. You have to highlight Kutira. Yes. Tapongo otor barbo. So get over. Often on highlight in column. Yeah. So it's what? One to many. From calendar to sales, it's one to many. Both one date can have many sales needs. And the cross filter direction, it's single. Right. So let me take this time to explain why you should be careful on selecting the correct cross field. You must use both sparingly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because suppose you are filtering calendar to sales and you say both. When you select this a date in a cell, it will filter your calendar table, and it's not correct. It's the other way around because the calendar table should filter out the cells. And in most cases, the one to main it's single from the one to the main. It should follow that relationship. Is it right, sir? Yeah. Make this relationship active.
Utakuwa mbali basi
Yes, single.
ura save.
Yes. Right? So you see that when you come to your cells, the date table is now disabled. It's no longer what showing as a date because a date should show at a calendar.
What did you say?
If you come to the sales date, if you see the order date is no longer a date, it's now showing like any text or something. So let's come here on the order date on the calendar that you created. We say what? Market date and you create a hierarchy. Right? Yeah, there's this option, markets date table.
Kwenye column yangu kwenye table yangu ya calendar nisikiona na ino.
Muna ameweka maita chef. Right? Here we are. So yatatoshandisa inotonzi DAX iyoyi kucreate table iyoyi. After creating hierarchy, yeah, the hierarchy is now there. I haven't done anything. So I've then checked to see if my table is marked as a date table. Yeah.
What create a hierarchy? Don't you see?
Sorry? If you right click, there's then option which is saying markets date table. It should be ticked. Right, so here we are. How do you comment, by the way? Okay, I see. How do you comment? I'm forgetting.
Okay, yeah. So that's how. Then you put it back. Okay.
So
Okay. So,
forgetting.
Sorry, this one. Then to my dot. This one. It's back. Wait.
It's not
Something
working.
like this. Then it should be inside this one. Or
let's
there's a
show
mama
me
slash
the
yakadai.
detail.
Let's forget it. I'll check. All right. So let me. Oro. The other way is to say I need to be explicit. To say I can use the calendar, start date and what, and the end date. I'll say I need mean of sales order date. Then end date. I'll need max of what, of sales order date.
Close.
Okay. Okay, something like this. So it's scanning what? If I'm explicit to say for my calendar, take the minimum date and the maximum door range. So as my data is refreshing, it's what? It's changing, right? So it's the same for now. Maybe let's take this, right? And you can even come and create your years, days, etc. I think we'll do that later. But for now, let's keep it simple and stupid. You seem lost, Chief.
Very much lost.
Yeah.
I'm just following. Let's go.
Eh,
Let's go. Let's go.
Say your concerns so that
Let's go.
you are lost way.
Mm, I'm still on that relational summary diagram.
Yeah. Where are you?
Yeah, I created the calendar. Where do we go from there?
Did you join to the sales table?
Yes, I did.
And we went back to the report view.
Report view.
Report view, yes, or the table view.
Okay.
We are on report view. We just checked it to see if it's marked as a table.
Which one?
The calendar table.
This max is it? Okay.
Yes. And on the date we say we create a hierarchy. Yes.
That's fine.
If you did that, I think you are up to date.
So I'm confusing myself.
Yeah, you're confusing myself. Mood DP is such bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is
All right. I think today we must create a. I think let's try to create something. So maybe would want to see. Uh, so the advantage of using what min and max is taking what our dates from the minimum to the maximum. So maybe we'd want to see the total sales that were done. We can say tick here. So as a table, right? So you see why it's important to use a date table. I ticked the I ticked my data hierarchy and ticked the sales quantity. So it's summarizing already. So maybe I need to visualize using a line chart.
quantity. Assess statically quantity.
It's cluttered, right? Mm, sorry. So now we have this visual. Okay. I think something is a bit wrong with my. Okay. Let me come here a bit and I want to delete this relationship. Okay. Let's go back and let's go to the cells and click order date. Sorry. Right. This is what I wanted to see. So my hierarchy seems to be failing to work. I'll fix that. So for now, let's use the date in the. Let's go to the sales table. Yeah. So go to the model view and delete the relationship between the calendar. Maybe yours might be working. Let me check. So what you can do is come to the model here and delete this relationship. Then come here and select what is it. After